Welcome to the CannaFacts podcast, where you'll find zero Dutch marketing, zero tomato tech, and zero GMOs. Just cannabis the way it's supposed to be. The cannabis truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help my bud.
Good evening, smokers and tokers, and everyone else in between. The long-anticipated and very much overdue podcast. I'm your host, Osmo, and on this episode, we're going to have a little introduction of myself and the explanation of why I'm doing this podcast to the point of where I'm at. Then a 30,000-foot view and a quick summary of the details and explanations of what the podcast is going to entail in future episodes. It's been a long journey. It's been a crazy journey. Maybe this little recording here can explain a little bit more detail on the situations of the internet and the things I do. Anyway, without any further delays and issues here, but it's early in the morning, long days. I'm over here a one-man wrecking crew trying to keep up with everything, so I'm a busy person. But with the introduction of myself, I've been growing indoor cultivation of cannabis and breeding since 1980. Long time ago. And in doing that, I dedicated myself wholeheartedly to growing cannabis and breeding cannabis, not just for financial gains, how you say, but for dedication, for hobbies, lifestyle choices. Unlike most people today, I was willing to give up everything. Going to jail, losing your family, having everything taken from you, and being locked up for the rest of your life for a plant. Over those years of doing that, I've submitted my grow picks to High Times throughout the years from, I say, 1980 to the beginning of the 2000s. Prior to that, I was in the High Times magazine at least a dozen times. That was the only recognition I got for doing what I was doing, because you couldn't go around telling people that you were doing it. So, in spending all those years in a basement with no one knowing that I was doing, the year that it finally became legal, I decided to get my butt out there and show the world what I was doing and see what was going on. And in doing that, the same magazine, High Times, that I pretty much worshipped, wouldn't even talk to me, wouldn't say a word. I was very confused on that. That was my first disheartening episode into the cannabis scene, was why are they not even saying anything to me? Things continued on from there. I had questions. Nothing seemed correct whatsoever. The hate from the internet, it was just not right. So it led me to finding out why, especially when the High Times ignored me. That right there was a deal breaker. You guys should have played me. You should have tantled me on, and yeah, you should have played me as long as you could. That would have been your best play, but you didn't. You guys ignored me, dissed me, disrespected me, and made me look for answers. And looking for those answers, thus this podcast. This is why I'm here. Now you're getting a perspective and an opinion, remember that, from somebody that had no knowledge of the cannabis industry whatsoever. I did not know who Jungle Boys were. I did not know who Cookies was. I did not know who anybody in the cannabis game was. I myself was worried about growing cannabis in my house. Yes, I did collect. I have every High Times issue ever created. But in my journey of growing, once I got to the point of having kids, getting married, college was done, was working full time in a tech industry, I didn't need High Times no more. So as the magazines came in, I just took them still in the package that they were shipped to me in and just put them in the closet. And thus I had over 20, 25 years of High Times magazines that were never even opened. Just sat there because I didn't need to read them. I just collected them. I was a collector at that point. My knowledge of cannabis was already done. I didn't need to learn anymore as far as how to grow cannabis. And I did not need to know what you all were doing out there. And I'm glad at that point. So it led me to find out why all this was the way it was. So I went and I delved, I dug and I dug and I dug. It took me a few years to actually come up with all this. I mean, yes, there was bits and pieces that people put together, like Joe from 15-ounce pounds and in Nepal. Um, all those books. A lot of this stuff has already been present and put out to the public, but not in a complete picture or a perspective from somebody that wasn't in the cannabis industry. So maybe this podcast will give you a different perspective and a different view. Maybe you didn't think about it this way. So that just tended me to really get upset. I did not like being ignored, especially when I was showing you what I was showing you. I was like, look at this, but yet you don't even want to even say hi. So that's the kind of the small introduction of myself. As far as my cannabis thing, we can get in more detail. Like I said, this is just an overview. On the future podcast, we're going to delve deep into the subjects and the who's, the what's, the whatnots, the whens, the whys, the wheres, and all that good stuff. So, but until then, let's continue. So that just led me to the finding out the answers, and so here is the answers as that I found. We'll start this off with the collection of the gene pool and distribution of edited genetics. We're going to just say that as edited genetics. We'll discuss the edited part a little bit later as far as that goes. We're just going to separate that from the public gene pool to the edited genetics. The public gene pool was collected, which was early, way before it even became legal. They went around grabbing everything they could. The seed bank started opening up. That's where you get the infamous Sam the Skunk Man, the feds, all that stuff. So the collection of the gene pool, the distribution of edited such genetics, that happened for quite a while before it even became legal. They had to conquer the gene pool before they continued. Once the conquering of the gene pool happened, the distribution of edited genetics via the seed banks was happening. The next part was publication and distribution. Publication will start there. Publication being High Times. The infamous, legendary, gracious High Times. High Times started in 1974. Long ago. In 2004, the 30th anniversary of High Times, was taken over. Yes, you heard that correctly. High Times was taken over in 2004. The year of 2004, High Times did not publish one cannabis pick the whole year in their magazine. Not one. That was the year it was taken over. All previous employees, all previous everybody, ixnayed, Gonzville. That was another question I had, was why are all these people doing this when for 30 years they were doing that? Why didn't anybody from there say, why are you doing this when we've been doing that? And thus, the explanation of High Times being taken over makes perfect sense. So the publication was taken. Boom, we got that. They're good. Now the distribution. All right, California being the first state, that was the plan. California being the first state to be open. While they implanted all the influencers, the feds, the, the propaganda, the people, all the people were put into place just in that state. That's why California was the first state to be legal. Then Colorado, both Democratic states. Then the rest of the country. They had to establish everything prior to the rest of the country becoming legal. California became legal. Here comes the distribution. Okay, the grow facilities and dispensaries open up. Grow facilities open up. They have no true cannabis OGs in the game. None. Because all those guys were underground or in prison at that point. So they hired commercial tomato farmers. And thus you get the horrible, horrible, horrible byproduct of tomato tech in the cannabis. That's why you guys do what you do, is because tomato farmers taught you. They didn't have real cannabis people teaching you, because all the people from High Times that really knew cannabis didn't work there no more. They weren't pushing the correct narrative. Sleep on that one for a while. Thus you get tomato tech. Thus you get dirt pots on flood tables, stripping your plants, just having buds on top, 18-inch clones that look like crap. Everything that you guys do in the cannabis industry is based upon commercial tomato farmers. I'm I'm just telling the truth, guys. I didn't tell you guys to do that, and I didn't make you do that. That's just how that worked. So, distribution, dispensaries happened, thus the edited genetics. Okay, edited genetics. All right, they've been benefiting off the down to destruction of the public gene pool. And you guys have been facilitating it with all the pound chucking. Yes, you heard that correct. You are oh my goodness, I'm just flabbergasted by this. You're facilitating the destruction of your own gene pool, and they are benefiting from it for the last decade or two. While they're giving you these edited genetics, you guys were out there breeding, passing all these edited genetics with the HLV virus. The HLV virus was put in the cannabis. It was not just hopped over there like a little bunny rabbit from the hops virus. That, my friend, did not happen. It never will happen. It was put there for the destruction of your gene pool. Okay, they were going to let you sit there and destroy your own gene pool, breed. They knew you were going to bottleneck everything because they took all the genetics away, all the founding genes, strains, genetics that created everything is gone, has been gone. You guys don't even have skunk anymore. I do. You guys don't even have skunk anymore. That's crazy. That's just for somebody like myself to even think that is freaking insane. Just think that you guys don't even have Northern Lights and skunk, and then I'm sorry to say, we got this strain over here that, okay, the strains that you guys do say that's old school, if you compared to my strains that are truly old school and do DNA genetic tests, they're, my friends, not even close to being the same. So you guys have no original genetics. I'm sorry, period. That's just plain fact, simple truth right there. So they were facilitating the destruction of your gene pool by letting you guys pile and chuck that crap to death and make money off seeds. When the outcome was, when your gene pool finally collapsed, they were going to offer GMOs as a solution. Now, it's kind of funny that here recently, podcasts, people have been talking, cookies, even though, oh my goodness, we're bottlenecked. We can't do anything no more. Oh my gosh, the podcasts start talking about it. Then guess what shows up out of nowhere? GMOs. That, my friend, was not a coincidence. That's by design. They were just waiting for the destruction of your gene pool to happen prior to offering GMOs. It just happened quicker than what they thought because somebody showed up to explain it to you. So that's pretty much their plan. That and the GMOs, offering the GMOs to a destroyed gene pool that eliminates pollen chuckers, that eliminates breeders, that eliminates pretty much every middleman in the industry that you're all doing right now. Gone. Because you're buying seeds from them forever. Can't breed no more. Can't do anything no more. Currently, right now, the gene pool is 80% infected. And that's everything tested. Everything tested worldwide is 80% HLV infected. That's not including the edited part, the genetics, the crap, everything else they did. That's just the HLV part. And the only reason it's at 80% is because the rest of the gene pool hasn't been tested yet. That's all. For anyone out there to sit there and stand up and tell me, oh, I got clean genetics. Oh. Have you actually tested your stuff? Actually, because do you know the process of what you have to do to test that? Yeah. Remember, the people in this industry, including the geneticists, are all implants. Your whole industry is a fraud, complete lies, and started that way. So when an industry is based upon fraud, deception, and lies, it is nothing but a house of cards, which a house of cards can be easily toppled with the truth. Simple as that. Just the truth. There's try to have to do anything else than that because it's all based upon fraud, lies, and deception. So that's currently where we're at. The destruction of your gene pool and they're offering GMOs. Your gene pool is going to continue to collapse. And they're going to continue to offer more and more and more GMOs. You can sit over there and say, no, 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 no. He's wrong, 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 wrong. Well, I've been pretty much right the whole time so far. And I guarantee you I'm right now. So we'll just see. The one thing that didn't expect, the one thing that did not expect is someone showing up with a clean gene pool of all those old things that were destroyed and taken from you. Think about that. What do you do with somebody who shows up with an arsenal like that to something that you were doing that's nefarious, evil, and deceptive? Ponder on that for a little bit. I, my friend, am not a bad guy. I'm just playing the chessboard that was given to me. I play upon the rules that was abided by me. You guys gave me this. I was willing to help the whole industry. I listened to a podcast where Ivan from Jungle Boys said on this podcast. And he states, if there's someone that's sitting in a garage or a basement that's breeding wonderful new stuff and that needs it to be put on the market and get it put on the shelf, we would be more than happy to help you out. I thought, oh my goodness gracious, what a freaking good guy. So guess what I did? I contacted Ivan, called him on the phone, and said, hey, bro, I've been breeding for 5 years. I got all this stuff. I'm an old timer, don't have much time left in this world. I'd like to leave something behind before I go. And do you know what that man did? He laughed at me. Yep, laughed at me. I thought, well, that's not the person that was on that podcast saying that. So, another introduction to the cannabis industry. I go on a podcast with Blue Skies and JR, Old School Chronic. I was upset. I didn't know anything anytime. I was just upset of being treated the way I was being treated. So I was in complete defense mode. I just was mad. I should have done that podcast at that time because I wasn't armed with the information that I needed at that point. But that's now different. Much, much different. So in that podcast, they proceeded to tell me, you know what the industry needs more than anything? They need a platform where they can upload pictures, something similar to Instagram, that they won't get their accounts deleted, that the community would highly, highly appreciate something like that. Me being a tech guru, I've been a tech guru for pretty much most of my life. I retired at a young age from it. I was a bigwig, a very big wig. I've worked for projects for every Fortune 500 company on planet Earth. Period. No hands down, no questions asked. Can prove that all day. Some of the largest projects in computer history that you still use today, I have my hands in. I said, no problem with the Instagram clone. Can have this done, no problem, by the best computer guys in the world. Okay, so let's sit down and talk about what you want in this application. We sit down to begin to discuss what's needed to be in this application that you asked me to do for free. I was willing to do it all for free. And then you begin to tell me that you're not going to discuss anything that needed to be in this application unless I pay you first. Yes, I said that right. Unless I pay you first or give you complete rights for advertising in the application. Now, this, folks, is your industry. This, folks, is your community. This, folks, is what you built. This, folks, is what you are happy with. This, folks, has nothing to do with me. I just showed up. This, folks, is very disgusting. Just saying. This is your industry, not mine. So, I still have this Instagram clone sitting here. Paid good money to get done. Yeah, it would take a little bit of financial things to throw up a whole bunch of servers or lease servers to put it on, but that's it. I mean, that's the distribution of an application is easy nowadays. Very easy. So, anyway, that's kind of where we're at with this little overview of the podcast. What we're going to delve down on the who's, wins, what's, why's, where's, the whole schmeal. Because my friends, being an old timer and dedicating my life to a plant without no financial gains, I'm not here selling you seeds. I'm not here asking for sponsorships. I'm not selling you products. I'm not asking anything from you. And I guarantee you there's no one else in the industry that can say that. Top that one. I have not asked anything for anybody. I've tried to involve everybody in this process of what I'm doing from the start. I would hire graphics people, yet I could do graphics myself. I'd hire website people, yet I could do websites myself. I would hire whatever. I wanted to involve everybody. And I got stabbed in the back, two-faced, lied to, say this, do that, the most whatever. I have not found a single noteworthy person in the cannabis industry that actually done what they've said they were going to do. Period. Not one. So, for you new people wanting to get in the cannabis industry, that might be your answer. Should you or should you not? I myself, being a new person in cannabis, I wouldn't touch this industry with a 2-foot pole. Absolutely not. But being an OG and I know what I know, I'm taking care of the problem. So, what do you do with the guy with the clean gene pool to an industry that wants to get rid of breeders and sell you GMOs? I welcome anyone to come on here on the podcast and to intellectually debate any topic calmly, rationally, and intellectually anytime. But they have this thing, this horrible thing that they call the people who perpetuate the lies, they run from the truth. So having the so-called cannabis industry leaders come on this podcast and actually discuss anything with me, I highly, highly doubt that'll ever happen because we speak the truth over here. When you base your house of cards on nothing but deception, lies, and fraud, you stand no chance. Let me repeat that. You stand no chance. And I'm here to prove that. So, we're coming up on the half-hour mark of this. I guess I want to cut it short. It was a quick, short one. I've missed a lot of stuff I wanted to say. We'll cover in depth. If you'd like to come on the podcast and state facts, CannaFacts at osmolabs.com. If you have something to say, or if you want to come on a debate in an intellectually calm manner. The image you see me on the internet is the image you force me to do. I do that because of what you guys do. Simple as that. I'm an old man. I'm an OG, and I don't stand up for crap. Especially this in the industry that I dedicated my life to. I won't have none of that. I'm sorry. I'm all about that plant. I'm not about selling you seeds. You know what? For me, my whole life, money's grown on trees. I don't need to sell you anything. Now, for somebody else to come along and say they have to sell you something when money grows on trees, there's your deception, my friend. So, you can get the podcast at YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, and my website's currently being finished. I'm wanting to have it done prior to this podcast, but like I said, I'm a one-man wrecking crew, and I'm a busy, busy, busy person. So I guess until then, we'll have to keep chugging along with that fun stuff on social media because I like that. That's fun stuff. I just enjoy all that. Until the next time, everyone stay safe, stay high. God bless. Osmo out.
Unveiling the secrets of Osmolab's top-shelf cannabis breeding. What sets Osmolabs apart from the rest? At Osmolabs, the art of cannabis breeding transcends mere cultivation. The meticulous process is akin to a symphony, with each strain curated to perfection, embodying the pinnacle of quality and innovation. The science behind top-shelf genetics. Osmolabs leverages cutting-edge old-school genetic research to concoct their signature strains. Through a blend of old-school breeding techniques and technology, they unlock the hidden potential of each cultivar, resulting in unparalleled potency and flavor profiles. Nurturing excellence in every seed. From germination to harvest, Osmolabs adheres to a rigorous standard of care for their plants. Every seed is nurtured with precision and dedication, ensuring optimal growth and maximizing the genetic potential encoded within. Cultivating a legacy of excellence. With a legacy spanning decades, Osmolabs has cemented its reputation as a pioneer in the cannabis industry. Their commitment to excellence and innovation continues to push the boundaries of what's possible, setting the gold standard for top-shelf cannabis breeding. The Osmolabs experience, where quality meets passion. Stepping into the world of Osmolabs is akin to embarking on a sensory journey to the past. Each strain tells a unique story, crafted with passion and expertise that is palpable in every puff. Experience the difference that top-shelf cannabis breeding can make and elevate your cannabis journey to new heights. Unveil the secrets of Osmolabs and discover a world where quality, innovation, and passion converge to redefine the art of cannabis breeding, exploring the roots of old-school cannabis strains. Old-school cannabis genetics refer to the foundational strains that laid the groundwork for the diverse varieties available in today's market. These original genetics hold a special place in the hearts of cannabis enthusiasts and breeders alike. They are the building blocks of the modern cannabis industry, with their unique characteristics and effects shaping the way we perceive and consume cannabis today. Understanding the significance of heritage strains. Heritage strains, such as Skunk, Northern Lights, and Haze, have stood the test of time and continue to influence new hybrids and cultivars. These classic varieties offer a glimpse into the rich history of cannabis cultivation and consumption, providing a connection to the past for many enthusiasts. The distinct aromas, flavors, and effects of these old-school genetics showcase the diversity and complexity of the cannabis plant. Unraveling the genetic makeup of old-school strains. Old-school cannabis genetics are known for their stability and consistency, traits that are highly valued in breeding programs. These classic strains often exhibit strong genetic markers that make them reliable choices for breeders looking to create new and exciting varieties. By understanding the genetic makeup of these heritage strains, Osmolabs has harnessed their unique characteristics to develop novel cultivars with specific traits and effects. Navigating the evolution of cannabis genetics. As the cannabis industry continues to evolve, old-school genetics remain a cornerstone of breeding projects aimed at preserving and enhancing the qualities of classic strains. By blending old-school genetics with old-school breeding techniques, Osmolabs has created hybrids that offer a fresh take on familiar favorites. This fusion of old-school genetics results in a diverse array of cannabis varieties that cater to a wide range of consumer preferences. Embracing the timeless appeal of old-school cannabis, Osmolabs' genetics library will always be completely separate from the current cannabis industry genetics pool. With hundreds of old-school strains, Osmolabs has something for everyone.